Okay, my camera died, my phone died. So I had to go charge that and then, yeah. So it's a couple days later. Oh goodness, I had a bunch of stuff I needed to do and just kind of didn't get back down here. So let's pick up where we left off. All right, so I went ahead and I sewed my signatures together to my spine here. And like I said, I did that off camera just because it stresses me out, honestly, to do it on camera. So I went ahead and did that. And another thing I wanted to mention is just be aware that when you do your holes, you may have to do some finagling to get the signatures in there the way they need to be, kind of lined up with the spine here. So these are going to be shorter, obviously. Now on the bottom, it's a little more even. But that, to me, that's kind of the beauty of these trashy journals and junk journals really in general, is just that, they're supposed to be wonky. But like I said, if that bothers you, then definitely just straighten it and it'll be fine. All right, so this is my front, yes, because this one's bent. Okay, so now what we want to do, we have it attached to our spine, and I'm going to use Fabri-Tac to glue the signatures into the spine. Now here would be the time where you would decide a couple different things. Do you want something on the inside of your journal, like fabric, paper, anything like that? Now would be the time that you may want to do that, because you're going to glue this into here and then you won't be able to lay, a full sheet over it. The other thing, and I was thinking about this with a closure, because this would be the time also if you wanted to glue the like a piece of fabric or whatever to use as your closure, you could glue it down here and then it'll be attached to the inside of your journal, and then it would tie on the outside, or you could put it on the outside. I think what I'm going to do with this one is it's going to be just like a wrap style closure, so that it's not attached to the book itself, so that I can take it off if I want to, and change it out if I want, anything like that. So we're just going to leave it like it is, but this would be the time if you wanted to do that. And especially if you have stuff in here that you want to cover up, now would be the time to do that. So I'm just going to start by putting the glue down here. All right, and then you grab your signature and you're just going to set it on top of there, and kind of lining it up a little bit to make sure it's upright. Okay, make sure you have it in the right direction. And then we're just going to line it up there. Make sure we're sort of in the middle here. And then you just want to press it down. Usually what I'll do is let it fall open. If I can find in between a signature here. And I'll just press, and sometimes it's easier to use a ruler. I'll just press the spine down into the journal cover. Okay, and then you're just going to close it up. Make sure that it looks good. We're good there. We're good here. And what I usually do is I will take grab one of these little binder clip thingies, and then I just let it sit upright while I work on something else or whatever. And I just go through, I just put my finger into the little, in between the signatures, and just kind of squish it down. And then we're just gonna set that aside for now. All right, I was doing some thinking about my cover, and I went to my fabric bin that I have a bunch of pieces of fabric that have come off of other projects or whatever. This pocket came off of my husband's jeans that I made. They were really old, had holes in them. And so I repurposed them and I made a journal cover with some of it. And then I saved all of the pockets and whatnot for different projects because I thought, well, that'd be cute for something. And I found this fabric here. I just loved the contrast of the pink and the blue together. And as it turns out, this is like the exact length of the front and the back of the cover, which is amazing. So I love that. So I was just kind of brainstorming, you know, since it's a trashy, scrappy junk journal, I wanted to use things that had kind of been discarded. You know, obviously that's kind of the purpose of it. But if you have something else that you want to do on the front of your journal, feel free to do that. You don't have to do it exactly how I'm doing it. Just put whatever speaks to you. Just start going through your stuff. Whatever speaks to you, do it. All right. So, and the other thing too, when you go and you do these, you cut these fabrics and stuff, and you fray the edges. So I'll just show you real quick in case you don't know how to do that, but you just pull the threads from the side and it just kind of makes that frayed edge there. Now, I don't throw these away because I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with that here in just a sec. But I just make a little pile. And you can do it, you know, as much as you want, okay? So I made this little pile of thread, and I'm going to do a cluster somewhere here on the front, maybe with a button. I thought that would be cute. I also thought some lace would be really pretty. And so I have my scrap, grab it here, my fabric scrap bin. And this has all kind of stuff in it. We've got some cheesecloth, maybe. Yeah, just go through what you have. Try to find, you know, different pieces that might work. All right, okay, so I've got this little bin of treasures here. This is like lace and the fabric's not supposed to be in there. Okay, I thought I had a piece of more like frilly lace, but I may have used it. So let's just go ahead and take some stuff out here and see what we find. And I kind of like the off-white. This is like a whole thing of lace. Oh, here. That might work. It's very like messed up, folded over. So yeah, just kind of look around. Just have a look at stuff and see what comes at you. No, I don't think so. Okay. I have a couple different options here. So I just want to work on this while that's drying, and kind of give it a minute to cure. And I have a bag of buttons that I just will add to as I go. Pull out these. Okay, let me pull out those cardboard things because it's very hard to see what I'm doing. There's a broken one. And here, this is another thing too, you know, obviously these aren't, these are perfectly good buttons, but the ones that are broken are kind of fun. I actually saw Nadia use that on my little pink journal that I got. She's got a broken one on there. I just love that. Now this one only has one hole that is usable, so it might be a little bit tricky, but just kind of I'm gonna pull out some pink buttons because I feel like that would really pop on there. There's a massive one. And if you don't have buttons, you can use a flower, you could use a butterfly, you could just make a little lace paper cluster. There's all sorts of things that you could do. So, you know, definitely, I know for me, when I watch videos, sometimes I'm like, oh, I want to do that exactly, you know, like, but maybe I don't have everything that that person has. So don't feel like you have to go out and buy a bunch of stuff either. So I've been collecting these buttons for a long time. Long, long, long time. That's kind of a cool one. I don't know if that really goes with our vibe here, but another broken one. For some reason, I'm drawn to those broken buttons. I love that. I just feel like the character that it gives is just kind of special. I didn't know I had so many broken buttons in my stash. Oh. And I may not use these ones either, but I just kind of want to pull out plenty of options. You know, it's weird. I don't have any like, I'm going to have like turquoise, but I don't really have a lot of blue ones. I've got this one, a little tiny, with that little cluster of something fabric. Okay. I think we have a good starting point anyway. All right, I kind of want to use that on something. I'm definitely going to save it. All right, so I've got these glitter ones here, and I don't even know. I don't remember buying these, but now this is something that I'll save, right? Because it'll make a cute little tag. So I'm going to put that in my bin there. All right. Oh, there's a broken one. Okay, so let's get a couple different sizes. I'm gonna put these there. All right. So I think this one is too big for our cluster because I do want to see a good amount of the yarn or the threads. So I think I'm gonna put this on top of my fabric here so I can kind of envision it. I don't know if this is the right color. I think because this is more red, so I think we're gonna take those out. I don't really like this one. It's too, I don't know, it's gray. I feel like it just doesn't really go. Okay, I think that's what I'm gonna go with. All right, so now I'm trying to think if I want to do some cheesecloth under there. I kind of like the lace against the denim, but I'm just going to kind of see what this looks like here. Okay, so I think we've got this kind of how we want it. Now I want to get some thread to sew that. And I'm thinking I want to do blue, or not yarn, floss, embroidery floss. And like a cream color, And I've got this. I think that'll work. Okay. So the first thing that we want to do is start to kind of assemble our little cluster here. Call this my glue board, my whatever you want to call it. Just something that I can glue onto and don't have to worry about getting it on my desk. So we're going to kind of separate this out here. And the first thing I want to do is to attach the lace. Let's cut it off first, actually. So we're going to attach the lace to, and I'm just going to use a little bit of glue because we're going to sew this whole thing. But I want it attached so that it doesn't fight me when I'm trying to sew it. Oops. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing and glue down a little yarn or a thread cluster there. And this might be one of those things too where we need to come back in and kind of glue down the edges. But we'll see how that goes. All right. So I definitely want to just kind of fray the cheesecloth out because we're going for that grungy look. All right. And I think what I want to do is I'm going to use blue on these two. Make sure that's the right color blue. Yeah, that'll be perfect. And then the cream colored one with the blue button. I like that look better than this. It's shiny and looks new. Now let's make sure that this needle fits through the holes of the buttons, and it does. So that's always a good thing to check before you get started. I've had that happen before. All right, and I'm going to use the full width of, I think it's 6 pieces of thread in embroidery floss. Okay, so we're gonna start, just trying to think how I want this on here. Like that, I think. So let's go ahead and put down the pink one first. Okie dokie, there is our little cluster. All right, so now I just want to kind of look at it, and I think I want to kind of bunch this thread up a little bit and get it stuck down because I'm a little bit nervous that it's going to come off because it is just kind of random pieces of thread just balled up together. So. All right, there we go. And let's go ahead, forgot a step. Let's go ahead and put the, get this glued down to our pocket. And then that can be curing as we work on our cover a little bit. So there's our signature, signatures all sewn in there. This is gonna be so fun to work in. I am really excited. It turned out so good. I'm so happy. So definitely, I would encourage you guys to just give this a try. Grab your scrap bins and just go to town. Because it's just fun. And I will actually link a few videos below. Lynn at A Bit of Birdsong, she does trashy journals, and hers are even more scrappy too. It's cool. She has some really cool projects. All right, so now let's work on the cover here. Now, I'm not going to have anything on this. This is going to be the front and then the back, right? The spine is going to be open for now. I think that's something that I will do later. So let's go ahead and cut this in half. Actually, I'm going to snip it and then tear it. Tearing fabric is one of my favorite things to do. I don't know why, it just makes me happy. It's so, like, just, yeah, love it. Therapeutic. Just, I love the sound it makes, and just really fun. Okay, so got the 2 pieces here. Let's go ahead and do the front one first. Now, since I know I am gonna wanna do something on the spine, but I just don't know what yet. And I was kind of looking through my stash of scrap fabric, and I don't know yet. So I'm gonna, when I glue this down, there's gonna be a little space. I'm not gonna glue this all the way down, because probably what I'm gonna wanna do is whatever I use on the spine, I'm gonna tuck under these pieces of fabric here. So before I do that though, because this is so white in the background, I think what I wanna do is come in and distress it a little bit. So I'm gonna grab my tea dye here, and which I probably should have thought about this before I sewed my signatures in, just because it's a little bit easier to work with a flat, piece of paper or cardboard or whatever. But I think it'll be okay. And I want to do this now, because if I don't like it, then I can paint it before, repaint it before I put the fabric on it. So just go ahead and do that real quick. Okay, now I think I want to come in with my black archival ink, and I hope I don't regret this, but I feel like it needs just some contrast, and I feel like the black will really just kind of help that, or it might be too much. I don't know. We're gonna find out. All right, let's just go for it. Yes, perfect. Okay, yay. I was a little nervous about that for a minute. All right, and so the reason that I did all that, I don't want it to, the white is just so super white. And for me, like, that's gonna bother me. Because it's a trashy journal, so I want it to look trashy. The white, painting it white, stark white, just really kind of, yeah. But the only other thing would have been black, which I had, kind of talked about doing that. Oh, that is so cute. All right, let's go ahead and get our fabric glued down. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? before I glue this down is I want to sew around it. And I was thinking about sewing this down too, but I don't know, like that is so thick and I don't have like a denim, you know, like a really thick needle, but I could just do it in this little valley here where it's kind of thinner material. I think I'm gonna do that. Okay, I'll be right back. All right, I got the sewing done here. And so that's our back one, here's our front. What I decided to do was just do some really messy stitching around the the pocket itself. Because if I stitched too far here, it's gonna close this pocket, and I don't want that because I wanna be able to just kind of use that. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and glue the pocket down to the fabric. All right, I'm gonna snip these little, that top end off there. All right, and I'm gonna set that one aside to dry. So while we're doing that, let's go ahead and get our back piece on here. All right, got that one. And this should probably be dry enough for me to work with it anyway. And I wanted to say too, I was thinking about this as I was doing the sewing. If you don't have a sewing machine, don't worry about it. You can do all of this stitching by hand. If you want to add the stitching, do it by hand. It's actually really cute. I started doing that in my junk journal July and I loved it. It's so cute. Okay, I'm just pressing down a little bit on that pocket to get the glue kind of adhered there. And there we go. Oh, you guys, I think it turned out so cute. That is just, yeah, love it. Clean off my desk here a second. All right. So there we go. Got the cover somewhat done. I like that it's not perfect. Use up those scraps. Use stuff that you would normally throw away. Just kind of make it useful. So, all right. Now, I was kind of thinking in my head the other day about how, like, what do I want on the front of it to say, like, journal or something like that. And what I was thinking is I have these alphabet stamps that are actually my daughter's. And what I was thinking is I could stamp, I wonder if I could stamp directly on this. Probably, right? But then would it be cute to do it on like a lighter fabric? Let me see what I have here. And that way if I mess up, it's not like a huge deal. I've got this fabric. That'll be cute. It's got that kind of, the beige kind of neutral tones in there. Still light enough that you can see the stamping. Okay, I think that's what we're gonna do. Fabric box put away there. think I'm gonna put a little glue on this piece of lace here to kind of, it's folded up. So let's just tack him down there. So I'm thinking I could go like that. I feel like this needs something down here. I don't know. I don't know. We're gonna leave it for now, but I feel like it needs something. Okay, what do you guys think? Let me know what you think. If I need something down here. I don't know. Maybe I don't, but let me know what you think. Oh, I love it, you guys. I'm so excited. I really appreciate you watching this video. I know videos, definitely had to break it up because it was super long. But yeah, I love how it turned out. And I haven't quite decided what I want to do on the inside. It might just be one of those things that I leave until I find, you know, the thing that I want to put in there. It will probably, you know, might be like a collage stuff, or, you know, like I used the magazine pages. Yeah, so I don't know, we'll see. All right, guys, I really appreciate you watching and for being here. I hope that you enjoyed this little tutorial. I hope it was helpful. If you have any questions, leave them in a comment below. Otherwise, we'll talk to you later. Bye.